issues more than farmers, and who cares more about our farmers than our friend Jay Leeson here. We know him from the West Texas Drive on the radio and this big show. He's just published a 4-part series on the reports of plight of the West Texas farmers online at BreitbartTexas.com. Congratulations on that, by the way. It's good stuff.
Pleasure due. Good to be here.
Tell me how that got started and how that ended up there, because I tell you, farm issues haven't exactly been a conservative site's bread and butter over the years. They've stayed away from that a lot.
Yeah, well, I think the exception with Breitbart is that that they're going to take up issues where, well, for instance, the border coverage, Breitbart Texas, my friend Brandon Darby. You know, you read a Brandon Darby article on the border, and the question that you come away with, either implied or direct, is, are we going to have a country or are we not? And that's what you get into with border insecurity. In farm policy, in ag policy, are we going to be able to provide our own food and fiber, or are we not? Are we going to have farmers in this country, or are we not? So it was a natural place to go.
You bring up a lot of that caught my eye. Let's go through some of the issues. First, the feeling that the current situation is bad, but not as bad as what happened in the 80s when President Carter's Russian embargo sort of backfired on everyone and sort of flattened out every commodity market.
Yes. Well, the fundamentals are, you could argue that the fundamentals of cotton are more discombobulated than they were in the 80s. The early 80s, the problem was sky-high interest rates. Right. Today, the problem is, what basic risk management are we going to give to fiber producers? And that's an unanswered question right now.
Well, and they found out that basic crop insurance just isn't going to cut it. That's not a real back.
Well, they provided a supplemental,
right?
But any sort of insurance it's not price protection. It's just insurance. And so whenever you need to make 78 cents to break even, and we're coming in the mid-60s like we did, and some expect us to do again this year, a supplemental insurance policy ain't going to cover it.
One part of the series talks a lot about the World Trade Organization's agreement with Brazil that essentially was the start of the dominoes here for cotton farmers. Were you as surprised, I guess, and through all of this as I've been, that no one in a higher office has stepped up and said, whoa, this is a terrible idea and we've got to protect these farmers?
Yes, I think a lot of us are. I know I am. Because they're just basic. If you need 75 cents, 78 cents to break even, cotton's coming in at 65, mid-60s, then you're a dime short. If you got 500 pounds in a bale, and then you've got 5,000 acres, that's $50 a bale that you're down 150,000 overall. What we've seen, and to your point about higher office holders, whether that be at the state or the federal level, we've got guys coming in this year with, you know, what we put together in our estimates were 25% of these growers, these producers, are coming in with $150,000 carryover this year into this crop. And things are not looking, it's looking like the best kind of cotton, the best quality is going to go at 71 right now. So we're going to drop down probably into the mid-60s range, and we could lose a quarter of these guys. Now, cotton within a 100-mile radius of Lubbock is $4 billion annual economic impact. Texas Tech is one.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
Right.
So imagine us losing, if we don't do anything substantive at the federal level, 4 Texas Techs in this region. And that's a doomsday scenario. I don't know why nobody's talking. I understand that, you know, you can have libertarian stance, and I'm not suggesting that cotton farmers are out for subsidies.
Right.
What they are out for is a fair deal, and what they didn't get with the Brazil deal was a fair deal. And whenever they've got to deal with tariffs and high foreign subsidies and all other sort of intricacies within the market, then that's not a free market.
Are the guys you've talked to hopeful, though, in Donald Trump, that he's the only one talking at least about bad trade deals? How tenuous is that moving forward for them?
They have plenty of reason to be concerned. And I think a lot of them went for Trump because he's talked about trade deals. Whenever China's sitting on 60 million right now.
Bales.
Yeah.
Sitting on all this waiting.
And that's just going to keep the market, keep the ceiling very low on that market.
Well, we'll see what happens moving forward. You got to go check this out at BreitbartTexas.com, a 4-part series on the plight of the American farmer and the West Texas farmer in general. Good stuff.
Thank you, buddy.
We got links on our Facebook pages and Twitter pages as well, so you can check them out there. Straight ahead.